You've obviously decided to lay your efforts down on the side of the Trump administration in the forthcoming election, and so
I think it's really, I think we need a change of administration. I think many years ago I think probably the Democratic Party was the party of meritocracy and of personal freedom.
Yeah.
They used to be the free speech party.
Yeah.
In my view, after watching Elon Musk's interviews across various platforms, from business shows on CNBC to satirical programs like the Babylon Bee, he comes across as honest and open in his responses. He takes his time to answer questions. While some may perceive this as slow, I see it as a thoughtful approach. Therefore, in his recent conversation with Jordan Peterson, his candid and personal answers were not surprising. When discussing transgender issues, he expressed genuine pain while revealing how his son Xavier's transition to identifying as a girl was deeply distressing for him. He mentioned feeling coerced into permitting his son to receive puberty blockers. At that time, his family was living in California, a state known for its troubling laws regarding parental rights, such as California AB 1955. Take a listen.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that the people that have been promoting this should go to prison. So I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
all right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead. Killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
And there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
I empathize with Elon Musk after watching the interview, but I was honestly taken aback by how rude and unappealing Jordan Peterson came across. As a trained psychologist and former clinical psychologist, he has experience listening to patients and helping them with issues like mood, anxiety, and depression. However, during this interview, he interrupted Musk frequently, injected his own opinions, and seemed visibly uncomfortable with any silence. A good interview should focus on the interviewee, allowing them the space to share their thoughts and experiences. I believe Musk had much more to say, but towards the end, Peterson changed the subject while Musk was still processing his thoughts. I've watched several of Jordan Peterson's interviews, and it seems he mostly wants to dominate the conversation with his views. While it's his show, I feel that when guests are present, the focus should be on their stories, not just the host's opinions. In contrast, I think Lex Fridman does an excellent job as an interviewer, even though it's not his primary profession. He has interviewed Elon Musk multiple times, and in each instance, he gives Musk the freedom to explore his ideas, even if it feels slow-paced to some viewers. Although it's the Lex Fridman show, the guest remains the center of attention. While Jordan Peterson is a skilled storyteller and lecturer, his interviewing style, characterized by self-insertion and frequent interruptions, can be quite distracting. I am interested in what you think. Please comment below.
Countries. So it helped rebuild Europe, helped rebuild Japan. This is very unusual behavior, almost unprecedented. the U.S. did conspicuous acts of kindness, like the Berlin airlift. And I think it's always like, well, America's done bad things. Well, of course, America's done bad things, but one needs to look at the whole track record, and just generally, one sort of test would be, how do you treat your prisoners of war?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say, no offense to the Russians, but let's say you're in Germany. It's 1945. You got the Russian army coming on one side, and you got the French, British, and American armies coming on the other side. Who would you like to surrender to? Like, no country is like morally perfect, but I recommend being a POW with the Americans. That would be my choice very strongly.
In the full menu of POW.
Very much so. And in fact, Wernher von Braun took, a smart guy, was like, we've got to be captured by the Americans.
Yep.